Happy Thursday, guys, and welcome to day 15 of my August challenge. If you aren't familiar with my challenge yet, I will have some links in my description box with the welcome video, the calendar, and my playlist if you want to check out any of the other videos. But I'm really excited for today's video because even though August has 31 days, I'm counting day 15 as our halfway point, and I'm so excited that we've made it halfway through this challenge. I thank you guys so much to those who've started with me from day 1, day 5. If you're just wanting to join now, I really do thank you so much. This has been such an enlightening 15 days for me. It really has. I feel like I've been so motivated and inspired by so many of your comments and how you've decided to take on each of the daily goals that I've kind of thrown at you, and I'm just really thankful for those of you who have taken this on with me, because it's been such a really inspiring time for me. So thank you so much. I'm excited for today because I think that it's a really important day. One of the biggest things with the challenge that I believe that we did on day 2 was to write down some goals that we have for ourselves. I'm really big on writing down goals. I'm really big at writing down even like my to-do list. I hand write out a to-do list. I have one in my phone. I have one that I hand write out on my calendar. I have another one that I write out on a post-it note. Like, I am all about my goals, my to-do list, like actually writing them down, actually having them in writing so I can see them and I can be working towards them. And I always think it's nice to have something that we're really working towards, and not just like a, you know, I'm gonna make this month the best month. Like, how are you going to do that? What are you gonna do? And then write that down, and then what are your steps to achieving that? I think all of that is super important. So for today, day 15 is we're just checking in on our goals. How are we doing? Go back to the 2 goals, the 3 goals, the 5 goals, whatever, however many it is goals that you wrote down at the beginning of the month, and check back in with yourself. How are you doing on them? Have you worked towards them? Do you need to come up with a better plan to work towards it? Do you need to ask for some help with achieving your goals? What is it that you need to do? So many of you did write down your goals in that video, which was so awesome. It's so interesting to see, because we're all so different, to see what you guys are working on, what you wanted to achieve. Like I said, it was just so inspiring and so motivating to read your comments, and I'm going to be so excited to hear this check-in and see how you guys are doing. I definitely had a lot of motivation to really keep at my 2 goals that I mentioned in this video, especially like putting it out there on the internet. I was like, girl, you really gotta like make this happen. One of my goals that I'm really excited about to share is we had a room in the new house that we moved into. We moved into a new house at the end of April. We had a room in the basement that became like our catch-all room. Everything that we weren't sure where it was gonna go yet, we put into that room, and it was so overwhelming. You could barely walk through it. It just was full of stuff. And I said I wanted to start to make progress on that room. I didn't want it to be too big of a goal and have it like completely organized, and we don't even really know 100% for sure what that room is going to be. I have some ideas to make it another space of mine, and to have it kind of be like my shipping area, my maybe like filming for clothing hauls, having my Poshmark down there. It might eventually turn into my filming room if we do ever have children in this house. This room would have to go away from me, and I would probably have to take the one in the basement as my filming room. But I was like, let's just start with taking stuff out of the room and finding the home that we now have for it, or figuring out where the home needs to be. I mean, I had swimsuits in there, I had shoes in there, we just had bags. I did have some shipping boxes and bubble wrap in there. We had picture frames. Like, it was just such a scattered random room. And whenever we had people over, you know, of course they want a tour of the house, they want to see the new house, and we get to that room and it's like, oh, let's just close the door, like we don't know what we're doing in that room yet. And so I actually did film a little like before, so you could see what the room looked like, and then I'm gonna insert what it looks like right now. So we're halfway through the month, but I feel like I did a really good job. It was probably over 3 days, I think, that I took this month. One time it was just for a few minutes. I only had a few minutes, but for whatever reason I was feeling inspired to go down into that room, and so I just kind of tidied up the shipping boxes and like rolled up some of the bubble wrap, and I was like, okay, that's good. And then another day, again, I only had a few minutes, you know, did the best I could, took my shoes out, took the swimsuits out and all of that, and kind of like tried to organize my Poshmark stuff. And then the other day, it was a Saturday, and me and my husband were home, and we were just both kind of working on the house. He was hanging up stuff, like pictures and stuff on the wall, and I really went in that room, and I was in there for probably at least an hour. Like I was really trying to organize it and just make it look better, and I feel like I did a pretty good job. So I have a little bit to share there, and I'm really excited about it, really excited about my progress. Starting to feel it coming together and getting a few more ideas that I want to do with that room, but I'm happy about that. And my other one that I mentioned was that I really wanted to find some sort of like community volunteer aspect that I could do. I did talk about this a little bit in my live too, that I was actually really nervous to talk about that part in the video that I posted for this challenge, because for whatever reason I feel like volunteering or charity work also has some sort of stigma attached to it, that, you know, if you share about it, if you like share on social media that you're volunteering or you donate it, that some people think that you have like questionable motives because of that, or you're only doing it because you can share about it on social media and like get accolades and a pat on the back. And so I knew I wanted to talk about it and share what I wanted to achieve one day, but I was also very nervous. I had a lot of comments saying like I seemed really unsure of myself in that video. I edited the crap out of that video because I was like, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, I don't want it to come off the wrong way. And so many people were so supportive. I feel like those of you who are watching the challenge video and our tight little community that we formed over here, like you understand and you get my intentions, but there's some people that were like, are you only doing this to say that you're volunteering? And volunteer work has been a huge part of my life for many years, in high school, in college, and beyond. I regularly volunteer, and I think that it's a great thing. I love when I can do it with friends, when I can do it with my husband, when I can do it by myself. Like, I just think that it's a really big thing, and I've been doing it for many years now. But like even before social media was social media and I couldn't post about it, but for whatever reason I'm very quiet about that part of my life because I'm afraid it's going to be taken the wrong way or it's going to come off the wrong way. But I also don't think that that's cool. I don't think that that's a very fair thing. And one thing that I mentioned, if you missed the live chat, I have a neighbor mowing, so apologize if you can hear that. But I mentioned that I was doing some fundraising over the summer for LLS, or the Lymphoma and Leukemia Society. And I finally started to share a little bit about it, like on my Instagram stories and on Twitter, and I shared about the gala. And after it was over, I was so inspired the night of the gala and hearing speeches and seeing what the society does and how they make an impact and how they make an impact all over the United States, that I wanted to share about it. So I did, and I took to social media and I shared, and I had so many messages of people saying, I didn't know this was a thing, but I'm looking into it. You know, people who have been affected themselves or family members with leukemia and lymphoma saying, thank you. You know, we think this is a really important, you know, organization as well. Like, thank you for sharing about it. And I felt silly in that moment. I thought, why did I keep that almost like a secret, almost like under wraps, because I was afraid people would think I had questionable motives? Like, I know what all I did, which was just such a small part in this whole grand scheme of things, but I really did my best. I did a lot of different events. You know, we donated money, we donated time, we went to this gala, which was wonderful, but it was also, you know, your donation was kind of pricey, but it was something that really meant a lot to us, and we had a really solid group of friends that all wanted to be supportive and be there, and I thought it was great. And I just felt silly in that moment that I had kept that under wraps because I was afraid that a few people would question my motives. It's bigger than that. Volunteering, shouting out organizations, sharing when you are, you know, if you find, you know, somewhere new that you can donate to or doing something good, that should be a good thing, I think. And I guess maybe it's one of those things where you have to trust your gut. If you really feel like someone's doing something because they have ulterior motives or shady motives, I mean, you have to go with your gut on that one, and maybe you shouldn't follow that person, or you know what I mean? But I also do think that it's really important. There's so many wonderful organizations and the like out there that we can donate to, that we can volunteer our time with, and I think that it's important to share about it. So I mentioned that in the live, and of course, especially everybody at the live there was so supportive, which I'm not shocked at all. If, you know, people are going to spend their time to watch a live chat with me, I think that you probably understand like my true motives and everything. So I was really appreciative of that. But I have really wanted to do some sort of like community effort, because I feel like there's so many great things in the beauty community, and there's wonderful events put on, and there's meet and greets, and there's signings, and there's all this great stuff. But I really want to focus, like I really want to bring my aspect of volunteer work to my channel. I feel like I've kept it under wraps for too long. In a way, I'm kind of disgusted by myself that I'm disappointed in myself. I guess I'll say. I'm disappointed in myself that I've kept that quiet for so long because I was afraid of backlash. Like I feel like that's very selfish of me, and I'm not very impressed with myself in that regard. So that's what I've wanted to do. I have such bigger plans that involve like traveling and other YouTubers and all these different things, but I'm like, you have to start somewhere, and you have to start, you know, where you are. And we have wonderful organizations around here where I am in Iowa that do great things. I've had a lot of different phone calls and talked to certain organizations to see what I could do and see the best way to do it. I'm actually also talking to hotels, trying to work out, maybe even renting like some space to be able to do like a donation drive. I don't have anything finalized yet, but I'm really, really hoping that I'm getting a little bit closer to do that. But I have been working like crazy behind the scenes to try to get something put together. I'm really excited. I really hope what I'm working on right now does work out, because I think that it would be an awesome charity, and I think that it's something that I could do from my own home and even have people, like, you don't even have to be here in person, but you can still donate to. Hopefully this comes to fruition and it'll all work out in the end and you'll understand it, but it's what I'm working on right now. But it's something that's kept me really inspired, really motivated, and something that I just want to continue to talk about, to encourage, and all of that. So I did want to say thank you guys to those of you who have been really, you know, encouraging to me in this aspect too, because I was super hesitant about that initial video. I was super hesitant to put it out there because I didn't want it to come across the wrong way. But I think the bigger message should be truly how, I don't want to say how simple, but that volunteering is a very important thing, and there's just such small ways that we can volunteer our time. There's so many organizations that are wonderful that, you know, take donations that you can mail in or you can drop off. Like, there's so many good things that we can do, and I just really feel like if, you know, just so many people really put their energy into this, we could really help a lot of people. And I think that's the bigger thing, rather than me getting, you know, a couple bad comments on the internet. That's the bigger thing, and that's what I need to keep my focus on. So I'm still working towards that goal. I don't have anything finalized yet, but I'm really hoping to get that worked out, because I think that would be really amazing. So that is my goals that I shared that I am working on for August. I've had a couple other ones written down that I'm working towards in like my personal life as well, and also my professional life. But those are the two I wanted to share and I wanted to give my update on. So if you wanted to leave your progress down below, how are you doing? Do you need to kind of refocus, remotivate on some of the goals you wrote down? You know, let's cheer each other on, let's motivate each other, because we're now halfway through the month. So this challenge is just flying by. Thank you so much for participating in it. I appreciate you. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.